Welcome to Chalk Talk, presented by Option Central, the premier source for all things option football. Now sit back and get your pencil and paper ready for some option football education with another Chalk Talk from Option Central.
Hi, this is Tony DeMeo, and today our guest is Steve Weber, head high school coach of Bedford North Lawrence High School in Indiana. Steve, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Coach. Glad to be here.
Okay, now Steve is a triple gun convert, and what I want to do is take you through some of his experience in the past and how he got to the point that he's in his career. First of all, Steve, who are your three major influences in your career in football?
Three major influences?
Yeah, I mean...
I'm going to put you up there as one, Coach.
Pardon me?
I'm going to put you up there as one.
Wow, that's new. Go ahead.
My high school coach and my college coach all kind of got me this direction is what I want to do and kind of formed who I am and the way I think right now.
Who was your high school coach?
Bob Schneider was his name, and was at Newport Central Catholic in Kentucky. And college coach was Coach Perry at Hanover College, as well as Coach Leonard was the offensive coordinator.
Wow, okay. So you played at Hanover.
I did, yes.
So you started out, and what kind of offense did you run in high school, and then what kind did you run in Hanover? What was your background?
Well, yeah, in high school we were actually a kind of a triple option bone type of offense, and in college we were a spread offense.
Okay, so then let's follow your career. You graduated from high school, and then what did you do? How did you get into coaching?
Well, I went on to my master's in exercise science and was looking to get into strength training, and couldn't crack into it. And a friend of mine took a head coaching job in Kentucky and asked me to come join. I'd not really considered teaching in high school or coaching, but at the time I was wanting to get married and I needed some money, and that's what I did. So I took a job at Dixie Heights High School in Kentucky and started my career there coaching.
That's right outside of Cincinnati, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Interesting. I was asked to be, I was a consultant for Thomas More when they started football in,
right.
And we looked at Dixie High School's field to use as a possible until they built their own.
Right.
So,
yep.
Kind of small world. And the other interesting thing there is now the president of Thomas More College played right guard for me when I coached at Mercyhurst.
Wow.
Yeah, small world.
Exactly, small world.
And then, so you were there, and then when did you become a head coach?
I took over head coaching duties in 2000 at a smaller high school in Indiana.
Is that
by the name of Linton High School.
Okay, and you had great success there. You were
Outstanding success.
Pardon me?
Outstanding success, great community.
And you were running the Flexbone there, is that correct?
Well, Coach, we'd actually start out in the wing tee and ran that a couple of years. Graduated to the Flexbone. Dabbled in the triple gun for a year or two, and then converted to Tony Franklin spread system my last couple of years.
Okay, now that's really interesting. Tell me what did you like about the wishbone when you first started? Wishbone, Flexbone. What did you like about that offense?
We were always seemed to be a play behind, so I tried to add some option into the wing tee, but there wasn't enough practice time to get all that done. And so we made the switch from the wing tee to the Flexbone and just really concentrate on the triple option. And that allowed us to have answers. We didn't seem to be a play behind that time.
You know, that's interesting because in 1989, Tubby Raymond hired me to put the triple option in with the wing tee for exactly the same reason.
Right. Yep.
You know, in 1988, they played Rhode Island, and he told me that Bob Griffin, who was the head coach of Rhode Island at the time, was a play ahead of them all day.
Yep.
And they were better than Rhode Island at 22 of 22 positions and lost.
Wow.
And at that point, he realized that there was something wrong with the system. It had been around too long, and people had kind of caught up with it a little bit.
Right.
By putting the triple option in with it, it opened it up again, and we had great success in '89 with it, and it really gave people a hard time with the combination of the two. But they had already known the wing tee. In other words, their players already knew the trap and the buck sweep and all that. But here's another interesting thing. The whole year, 1989, we did not run one trap. We ran, other than tackle trap. And even that, I don't think we ran very much. But it was mainly triple option and gut. Gut was the answer, not trap, where we always let the three technique go, which was, I thought, was interesting. So now you finished with the wing tee, you decided to go to the Flexbone, and I know you had a lot of success with that at Linton. And what prompted you to now start to get into the gun triple?
Well, like I said, from the Flexbone, we actually dived into some couple of years of the spread, Tony Franklin stuff.
What made you go from a predominantly running offense to the spread?
Well, I had a really smart 6'8" quarterback and a lot of really good skilled athletes for a single A school. And he made a comment. He said, "Coach, if you and he wasn't much of a runner, so the triple option really wasn't a great fit for him. But we tried to do some wing tee stuff with him, but he wanted to see the field better. So we spread it out and threw the ball all over the place and had some great success there as well. But when I came to Bedford, I was convinced that the spread was a system you could run anywhere. And when I didn't have that 6'8" genius running the show, the spread was something that I couldn't run everywhere. And so that forced me into contacting you and getting on the path here.
Okay, so now when you ran the spread, because this is interesting too, and I've had a number of conversions from the spread, Tony Franklin air raid system. Really, I always call it the Hal Mummy Mike Leach system. Tony Franklin got it from them, but there's been a lot of conversions from that to the triple gun. As a matter of fact, Hal Mummy met with me at the convention 2 years ago and is running some gun triple now. So that's kind of interesting at Belhaven College. But every time there was that kind of a conversion, it was always the same reason. It worked when we had a great quarterback. And we did one up in Bradway, PA, and they set all kinds of school passing records with it, but went 0-11 or 0-10. And then when I went there, the kid they had a quarterback, the upcoming quarterback, had really, I think if he raced the telephone pole, might beat it. But he was just a kid. And I'm looking around the field, and this kid is very, very slow. And I took the wide out. I said, "Well, how about that kid?" Because the wide out was fast, and he was like, second team All-State or something the year before. And the head coach said, "Well, he's our top receiver. He caught 70 balls last year." I said, "Yeah, but unless you're using a jugs machine, you have nobody to get in the ball." So I said, "Why don't we try him at quarterback?" So he'd never played quarterback. We put him back at quarterback during the camp. I said, "He always knows wideout. If it doesn't work out, you just put him back at wideout." Well, long story short, they went 8-4. The quarterback rushed and threw for over 1,500 yards, and all he could throw really was the hitch and the stretch, basically. At least when I left the camp, that's all he could throw. But he was fast. I mean, he could really run. And outran a lot of his mistakes. He'd miss a read, but just outrun everybody. And they wound up going 8-4 and losing in the semifinals of the playoffs from an 0-10 team. So it was interesting how that evolved. And the funny thing was, he actually threw, the kid that had never played quarterback, actually threw for as many yards as they did the year before.
Yep.
That kind of worked out that way. Now I know you had a really good passing quarterback in your 2 years running the triple gun, Braden Tidd.
Braden Tidd, yes.
He just signed with who?
Mount St. Joseph.
So now you bring in me to put in the triple gun, and immediately you had obviously you had success running the ball, but how about your passing game?
You know, it's funny because our numbers in the passing game with the triple gun were actually better in total yards and completion than it was the year before in the spread system. So we've gotten better.
And last year you did a great job throwing the ball. I don't know, what was your how many yards did Tidd throw for last year?
He threw for 1,800 yards and was at 70% completion effectiveness. So had a very good year.
Wow, I would say I think that's a heck of a year for a high school player. And it was also the first time that you went to your sectionals, correct?
Well, we'd won one sectional here at Bedford in 30 plus years, and very seldom have they won their first round in sectional. And we were able to win our first game. So I think it's happened maybe 5 times.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. Now, I know this, that, you know, the offense is, you know, the X's and O's are great, but I think one of the things that's really helped you is you've done a great job with your strength program. Your team looked totally different the first time I saw it as opposed to the second time I saw it, or the last time I saw it. Tell us a little bit about your strength and conditioning program.
You know, I've always believed that's probably the best thing you can do as a coach to help your program, and so I've always been a big believer in that. When I came here to Bedford, we didn't have many strength training classes, and a lot of the athletes actually did not take the class. They would lift after school with the coach or go out in town. So we've got now 5 classes here full time. I've got almost 96% of my football kids are in that class. And we lift 5 days a week. I'd like to, you know, cut that down a little bit and do some type of running and things like that, but we don't have the facilities just yet. But we lift 5 times a week. We really focus on the power clean, snatch, you know, the squat, and lots of things that promote explosion, not so much size. But the size for this group actually came. And we put a lot of the kids know we put a lot of faith into it, and they did a good job with it.
Do you use a lot of one max testing, or do you use multiple reps testing?
We do not do a lot of one rep maxing. Matter of fact, we may max twice a year. We go to one strength meet, which we're going to Monday, and then we do it at the end of the summer. Other than that, it's always multiple rep maxing.
And do you use free weights, Nautilus, machines? What's your typical routine?
We really do not use machines. We're a free weights. We like to do as many lifts as possible standing, and to try and carry over to the football field as possible. We very little machine weight and very little isolating, you know, one muscle. We try to pick lifts that work multiple muscles at once, which are better for athletics and more time efficient as well.
You know, I never believed in Nautilus at all.
Right.
The only thing I liked in Nautilus was the neck machine.
Right.
I really didn't like Nautilus at all. And I'm really not a machine guy. I hate like chrome machines and stuff. They remind me of a health spa. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But we were the same way. We used to lift in. I don't know if you were ever saw where we lifted at the University of Charleston, but they called it the dungeon. I mean, it looked like the place Mr. T worked out in Rocky III, you know. But I really believe that's where you really get results from free weights, because part of the strength, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this was your major, part of the strength training is the balancing of the free weights. Is that accurate, or is that a myth?
No, that's very accurate. Absolute. Works the core muscles, all the little stabilizing muscles a lot more.
And you a squat guy too? Do you believe in squats?
Oh yes, I believe in squats, and to be honest, I believe in squats as deep as you can go while maintaining form. We try to get our guys below parallel every chance we get.
See, I believe in that too. And also, I was a big hang clean guy, not a power clean guy, but more of a hang clean guy. And then we, of course, bench press. But the interesting thing is, to me, the bench press is not as important as those other lifts. I mean, I know people put a lot of stock in it, but I've known guys that are great bench pressers that couldn't do anything on a football field. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it is technique with the bench press, whereas like the hang clean and the squat is really strength. What are some of the things? Now the triple gun and has obviously helped your program. What are like your favorite passes out of it? I know you had for a quarterback to throw for over 1,800 yards in high school is amazing.
Yes.
Especially when you're an option team and you're throwing for 1,800 yards. But tell me exactly how what the nuts and bolts of your passing attack were.
Well, I would say that you would be surprised at what I'm going to say, but you wouldn't. But we threw the heck out of the hitch, and as many formations we could get to, we threw the hitch like crazy. Other than that, our next pass was probably the stretch off of play action, and that's we had the other passes, but those are the two passes that netted us the most yards and the most completion, so we really focus on those.
It's interesting you say that about the hitch. We called at least 10 hitches a game, and I had the good fortune of speaking with Tom Moore, who used to be Peyton Manning's OC at the Colts.
Right.
And I spent a lot of time with him with Jim McNally, and Tom Moore told me he'd call as many as 18 to 20 hitches for Peyton Manning. Wow. And he said, to him it was a long handoff.
Right.
And that's how I always viewed it. I said, if people are going to play in an 8-man front, it's really near impossible to stop the hitch game.
Right.
Would you agree with that? I mean, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
I know you peppered people with the hitch, and I know you did a great job of disguising it. Like sometimes you'd be in empty. I mean, you spent a lot of time in empty. Is that correct or?
Oh yes, sir. That's correct. When we go empty, it does a lot of things to a defense and forces them really just to vanilla up. And it really cleared the read up for Braden.
And the other thing you did a nice job running the triple out of empty. And again, that's
love it.
If they spread out with you, it's very, very difficult to defend the triple as well. Now, how about now? This isn't I generally don't like to talk defense, but let's talk a little defense. What's your defensive philosophy?
Well, we are right now. We're in an under front. And we, like most high schools, our job is to go out there and stop the run, and that's kind of what we do. We are struggling a little bit here defensively, and a lot of the reason is just really numbers. I have a lot of guys that go both ways, but we're trying, and we're getting closer, especially with the offense being as simple as it is, to, as you say, put your better guys on defense and live that way. So we're trying hard to get that direction.
Well, how about that linebacker that I liked that also played tailback, the big kid? Where is he going anywhere?
Tucker West?
Yeah.
Yep. Tucker is also signed at Mount St. Joseph.
Tucker is a heck of a football player now. I always really liked that kid. He's a great kid. He is really a tough hombre. And what did they recruit him as, a running back or as a linebacker?
I asked the same thing, and my first thoughts would be as a linebacker. He played more there for us, and he actually said that they're kind of leaving up to him to kind of decide. I think he's getting calls from the offensive guys and the defensive guys all trying to sway his decision. But I think if I understand him correctly, it's kind of up in the air for him.
I see him probably playing linebacker or defensive end when all is said and done. He's a pretty big kid.
Yeah.
What about the other linebacker you had, Tiger?
Yep, Tiger Baldwin.
Yeah.
At this point in time, he's not really signed to go anywhere, but he's he leaned very heavily towards Hanover.
Okay. Yeah, you had some very, very good players. And how is your now next year is your tailback back? The one the starting tailback the
he is
smaller
not.
kid. Pardon me?
Yep. No, he is not.
He's gone. He's graduating.
He's graduating. Yes.
Okay. And your fast kid Ford, he's graduating.
Yes, sir. Graduated also.
And where is he?
We're losing a lot of good kids.
Yeah, it sounds like. I know we're going to do the camp again this year. It sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I'll say this: your younger kids were spectacular. I mean, you put up some unbelievable. Your freshman team put up some unbelievable numbers, and I think they went undefeated, didn't they? Or did they lose one game?
Well, they actually we had to cancel the freshman season, so we moved our freshmen up to play a JV schedule.
Oh, right.
And they went undefeated to the very last game and got beat by a very good Columbus East team, but not bad for a primarily large number of freshmen playing a JV schedule.
Right. It was mostly, and your two quarterbacks were freshmen, correct?
Yes, they were.
And they're your other quarterback, Braden Tidd, signed with St. Joseph, but these two kids have far more potential because they're very, very fast. Would you agree with that?
Yes, they've got great speed, and to be honest, they're going to have in their favor more years in this offense under the belt than what Braden did. So we look very good things up.
They both ran the triple. I mean, your young kids, your JV team. I mean, I saw them on huddle. They went up and down the field sometimes. They looked like Sherman marching to the sea. I mean, they looked unstoppable at times. And then what was the group that you coached in the spring that ran this that I saw? Was that?
Yeah, that was.
These
freshmen. Yeah, these freshmen we have right now. Can you hear me, Coach?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The freshmen we have right now as eighth graders, we coached them in the spring, and we actually had some seventh and eighth graders on that team, and we put the triple gun in, ran just like we do in high school. So they got it in eighth grade, they got it as freshmen, so it's been great for them.
Well, the thing I love about what you've done is you've really shown that you can run the triple gun at any level, because I hear coaches, at clinics and whatever, or when they call, they say, well, we can't do it on our eighth grade team or our ninth grade team, can we? Well, yeah, you can. I mean, you can't do everything, but you can run the gun triple, and any age kid can throw a hitch, for crying out loud.
Right.
So, there's no excuse for not running it at a lower level and really, indoctrinating your whole program with it, in my opinion. And obviously, you've been very successful at doing it that way. You've had good luck, really good luck with the triple gun. You've thrown the ball well. You've run the ball well with it. You've had great success in turning your program around. Now, again, before you got to Bedford North Lawrence, not much success there.
No, they've not enjoyed a whole lot of success, especially in the playoffs. And it's a great community, great school, and they dearly want to have that success. So we're working hard to give them what they want.
And I saw a lot of at last year's camp. There were a lot of parents around at the last session when we scrimmaged a little bit, and they were really enthusiastic about the team, and that's good to see. And I know your cup promotion was a huge success, and I use it every day. That Jill sent me one. You didn't send it to me. Jill sent it to me.
She keeps me straight.
Yeah. And, I look forward to doing our camp again this year. Talked with Ralph. He's all set. We're all set to come out on June 13th and do the camp. So I'll be in touch with you, but great luck this season, and the future looks bright for Bedford North Lawrence. That's all I got to say.
We are hoping the same. We're working hard at it.
Well, hey, thanks for coming on, Steve, and I appreciate it. And we'll wrap this up. And again, I'll be seeing you in June, and we'll get the triple gun fired up again.
Look forward to seeing you.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Chalk Talk is a production of Option Central, the premier source for all things option football. Ready to improve your option football coaching skills? It's time to join OptionCentral.net right now.